everybody. Welcome back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. Christian Pedersen talking to JJ Moran from San Marcos Baseball. He is a Stanford baseball commit. So yet again, you are sensing a theme of two things. One, we talked to a lot of future Pac-12 players on the spring season. Although I guess RIP to the Pac-12. Oh, that kind of hit me in real time there as a Pac-12 alumni. But also we talked to really, really good like future pro stars, guys that I'm now trying to say I will most likely play as in MLB The Show within 5 to 7 years. We just like to get in on the bandwagon. So JJ, thank you for being here. Thank you for my spiel and intro. Let's start with your commitment to Stanford. What was that decision for you?
Yeah, so it was honestly a pretty easy decision, like when I got the offer from Stanford, because it was kind of like the best of both worlds for me, because academics have always been like pretty important for me. So going to a place where I could get both like the best academics and then like some of the best baseball as well, that was a pretty easy decision once I got that. And I went on my visit, and the coaches and like the atmosphere there was just like beyond like what I've seen at other places.
So are we talking that this was like always the dream school, or did it take until you were on campus and then like the clouds parted, the light shone down from the heavens and you're like, this is where I'm meant to be?
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of both. Like I'd always kind of liked them, but I honestly didn't really have like that much of a dream school. And then when I was there, it was just like even my parents were like, there's no way we can't let you go here. Like this is like where you're good. Like it was just so obvious when we were there.
If you had not signed, your parents would have forged your signature on that acceptance letter. You're saying your parents
Yeah,
were
probably.
your parents are showing up there in Stanford gear at
Yeah.
not no illegal recruiting there, just a heavy nudge from mom and dad. You talk
Yeah.
about the balance with academics. Do you already know? Like, are we talking to a future? I know I'm talking to a future video game character, but also after that, lawyer, doctor. Like, are you that dead set, or do you just want a nice academic environment?
Honestly, I don't really know what I want to do other than baseball. So
You're,
I'm
you're
not
more
set
than
on,
welcome to feel that way when you're
yeah.
in high school.
So I'm not really set on like a specific career, like a lawyer or something like that, but just something with that academics behind it.
So I like to always ask people that are done with their recruiting process to give some advice to freshmen, eighth graders, like anybody that's starting or in the journey along the way. You obviously were somebody that had to excel on the baseball field and check all those boxes, but you seem to know your time management well, know your academics, focused on that. So maybe you can give some people some advice just on looking back on the recruiting adventure. What's some stuff you wish you knew?
I would honestly say like try not to like compare yourself too much to other people, because like you see like some crazy things, like people doing like super cool things like Select Fest and like USA stuff when they're like 12 or 14, and it's like they seem like they're way ahead of you like in the game. And like just remembering like your recruitment journey is kind of your own thing. Like you're not comparing yourself to those people. Like you, just because you didn't do like one of these cool games or something like that, it's not detrimental to your recruitment journey. Like just focusing on like the little things and like becoming a better player, like focusing in the weight room and in the classroom, and then also in the cages, or if you're a pitcher in the bullpen, whatever like that, and just getting better every day. Like it'll all kind of work out accordingly if you just focus on the little things.
When it all seems to have worked out for you. For any of the Stanford fans that might be watching right now, would you mind introducing just kind of what you hope to bring to the Cardinals? You're a shortstop at San Marcos. Tough that both of those start with an S for me. Obviously, I did not get into Stanford, but you know, are you aiming to be their shortstop, hitting third, power bat? Just give the brief sort of cliff notes for the new college fans of yours.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Like obviously like maintaining being a power hitter, like also a little bit of a contact hitter as well, just kind of all around like 2 or 3 spot eventually. And then honestly, anywhere in the field where I can play, like shortstop would be great, but if I get moved to third or second, just kind of like wherever they need me to play, that's what I'm looking for.
Hey, Manny Machado got moved to third from short, and it's $500 million later. The rest is history. I don't think he objects to being at a different position.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, you talk about power hitting. Let's talk about this season for San Marcos. You guys are 10-2 with some of the more signature-y pop in the bat type lineups going on for you guys versus the rest of the county. Take us inside the clubhouse. What has this year been like for the Knights?
It's been great. Like our chemistry this year is just Like I've never been a part of a team that's been like this close and like we're all just boys with each other. Like we're so like I don't even know how to like explain it without like it's just like we're all just guys together. Like everyone's just having fun, having a good time. Like we might not be like the best like team, like if you look at it on paper, but together, the way we play with each other, it's unbeatable.
Where does that bond come from? Are we talking everyone's childhood friends right now? Or are you guys just all on the same wavelength of, you're all hanging out, similar interests, playing video game? Like, who is the team? Like, where does all that bonding and gelling come from?
A little bit of it is kind of growing up because like we all went to like middle school and like high school together and like even some of us we played baseball when we were younger and all that. But I think a big thing is just we do a lot of stuff as a team. Like right now, like during season, we have team feeds pretty much every week. And so that's a big thing. Like it's more than just the dinner. Like we still like hang out and like literally last night we had a team feed and we were playing like pool till like 12 at night, just hanging out together. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
First off, what's the favorite team meal?
Oh,
Or is there like the lucky team, like the gotta if if the championships were tomorrow, what's the team gonna feed on tonight?
we don't have a lucky meal,
Okay.
but I'm
What's
not
the
like
go-to then?
not I'm not bragging because this is my dad, but everyone like my dad is like a good cook. So
Okay.
whenever we have feeds at my house, everyone's just like excited for that.
What's Papa Moran's signature meal?
Like tri-tip tacos, or he can make some good boneless wings too, like lemon pepper.
Ooh, sign me up for some of that
Yeah,
tri-tip. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
That's my favorite thing of the Padre games is the tri-tip nachos.
yeah. From Seaside, oh,
Yep.
those are so good.
And I've been thinking about that watching the Padre games the last couple of days. Like, man, I got to get back down there for some $27 nachos. Not, I
I
mean,
know,
obviously, but I
I
guess I'm
know.
going to your house then for some of that. And then pool. Who's the best pool player on the team?
Oh,
Or am I start? I don't necessarily want to start too much drama, but is there somebody that's the pool shark of the squad?
so last night I would say it was one of our pitchers. His name's Zach Von Huben. He was probably the best one there because he has a pool table of his own. So he's
Mm,
got a little bit of an unfair advantage there against some of us that don't. But
fair enough.
yeah,
Fair enough. Okay, so
he was pretty solid though.
you talk about the vibe this year being kind of immaculate with you guys. You are a great power hitter, but I want to ask about a different power hitter on the team this year, Gavin Vanderpool. This man seems to have balls going 380 feet, but then his bat goes 380 feet in a different direction. Do you like it? Is it a little cringe? Like, dude, you got to stop. Do you like, where does that come from? Is he just trying to one up everybody else in that? Because it seems like every week you guys are hitting more and more progressively dramatic home runs.
Um, I mean, I definitely like it. Like, I think it's cool. Like, just seeing that bat like go flying, like it fires everyone up. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing whatsoever. Like,
You don't feel one upped, right? You're
I mean,
not like,
a little bit because I'm not doing anything crazy like that. So he's got me a little bit on that, and I mean, some people think it's like a little too much, and like, I mean, I can see where they're coming from a little bit, but like at the same time, like we're just playing a game. Like,
well, so
it's
let
not
me ask you then a little bit bigger picture about just kind of that specifically and baseball elementally. Maybe, last 4 or 5, last generation, whatever kind of shorter term distance you want to call it, there's been this active battle of like baseball trying to be more fun. And we see it on like the World Baseball Classic, where a lot of the Latin American and foreign teams are just pure personality. And it seems to be leaching into Major League Baseball, but it also seems like there's people pushing back on it constantly. I think baseball is better when there are
yeah,
bat flips and all of that. Yes?
yeah,
Hands
yeah,
down, right?
yeah, absolutely. Like I understand where some people are coming from, like where a little bit of it is like, okay, maybe we should draw a little bit of a line
There's
there.
like, yes, if you whip out a Flava Flav size clock chain going, it's me time as you're around it. Like, sure, if there are firework, if you're carrying a little Sammy Sosa flag, a little American flag, maybe like a little too much showmanship and a disrespectful to the pitcher. But I'm with you. It's baseball is better like this.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just fun. It's just a bunch of guys like playing a kid's game. Like it's like, how can you really get mad at them?
For San Marcos, also specifically the home runs, people like to be like, oh, it's a hitter's park and everything like that. I get the dimensions are a little bit shorter, but left field, you got to get it way, way up. So, are you willing to dispel some of the myths that you guys are hitting, little junior home runs?
I mean, don't get me wrong, like the ball flies at our field. Like I'm not gonna dispute that. Like there'll be balls there that can get out there and won't get out at other places.
Yeah, but you still got to man up and hit it that far.
Yeah. And especially to the left, like you still got to get it out there. And I don't think we've really hit many like wall scrapers. Like most of our home runs this year have been like on the street, like, or like Gavin hit one onto the softball field to right. Like, so most of the ones that people are like, oh, it's a little league ballpark. I mean, we're hitting
Like, get
out
out
at
of here with
any
that
place.
nonsense. So for you, then, let's talk. We're talking all this personality and everything. Do you have a superstition, something you got to wear every game day, something you got to listen to? You got to take more steps with your left foot than your right foot, like anything for you? Because baseball players can be kind of weird and superstitious on that front.
Yeah. I mean, I try and not be superstitious like whatsoever. Like I literally like have told people like superstitions are only as real as you let like your mind believe them to be real. But it's also kind of like
So
hard not to.
your superstition is to be a superstition atheist. Your superstition is to rail against superstitions.
Basically, like I try and like conquer and like not let my mind like give into it, but it's kind of hard not to sometimes.
You're the one walking through the clubhouse, knocking over the voodoo dolls, washing everybody's socks, doing get out of here with that nonsense. I can dig it. I can dig it. Looking ahead at the rest of the schedule, I always like to ask people, who if they're going to come out to one game of yours, who do you want them? You guys got Del Norte, Torrey, Carlsbad, LCC, so a pretty marquee schedule still left on the books. Is there one specific matchup that you guys are looking forward to more than others?
I feel like LCC is always just like a pretty big one for us. I think that's going to be a pretty big series for us. And I think that would be a good game to go to.
That's going to be the one that they close it out. So, in talking about though that stretch of schedule, maybe tell people. I try to explain to this is a season long sports show. We go through fall, winter, and spring sports, and I try to always explain to people we're the best at baseball, better, way better than anything else in high school sports wise. And people don't realize that. Yeah, we might give some of the football teams in San Diego a ton of credit. Oh, they've got a tough schedule. When in reality, they've got to play like 4 or 5 hard games
Yeah.
their whole season. You guys will have like 18 to 20 games against ACC, Pac-12, other D1 commits, future draft picks. Like there is no night off really ever in an entire San Diego high school baseball season. So talk to the people about what kind of a grind it is to stay focused, stay at your best, and stay, with it all season long. Because I think that would get the best of a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, our league is just such a grind. Like
Madness.
if you look at it, like the teams in our league, it's just like there's not one team that's just like, okay, we could easily sweep them. Like there's or even just win the series. Like anyone could win any series. There's no guarantees. So it really is a grind because you're grinding out every one of those games. There's a lot of pressure in every one of those games. So you're going 100% every time. And then you got practice Monday and Wednesday, and then you got games Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And it's just nonstop 6 days a week.
And it seems like you maybe don't even necessarily go more than 2 or 3 innings without facing a guy who is committed to some degree of college baseball, whether it's NAIA up through D1. It's kind of insane. Like there's not even
Yeah.
not even an inning off really for some of these stretches. Uh,
No, like we're facing good arms like constantly.
and I'm sure for a degree that's fun. And you're like, hey, I'm here to play good baseball. But after a while, you're like, man, what I would give for 81 right down the pipe just to drive,
Yeah.
just to get myself in that groove right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also it keeps you it keeps you guys sharp and focused. Amen. So thank you so much for being on the show. Folks, like we say, this is a future guy that you will play as in MLB The Show, maybe even a cover athlete. I don't want to I just like getting in early on the bandwagon. JJ, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck the rest of this season. Go Knights, and we'll talk to all you guys soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.